destiny of nations. The Kothari Commission rightly said that uh, the destiny of India is shaped inside its classroom. This statement implies that teaching is a nation building activity. Teachers are both people builder and nation builder. Teaching is much more than a mere profession. It is a mission, it is a sacred duty, it is a challenge. A single teacher can transform the lives of several thousand students during his or her career. So that that way a teacher have the power and opportunity that people in other profession do not have. So actually education is a process of enlightenment and empowerment of the individual for achievement of better and high quality of life. The Education Commission has emphatically opined that the quality and competence and character of teacher to be the most significant factor, the quality of education and its contribution to national development. A nation is built by its citizens, and citizens are molded by teachers. And teachers also require some teacher educator or teacher education. So Chanakya has rightly stated that teacher is a maker of nation. So far, the development of country, it is a very important to have good teachers. So it is difficult to be an idle teacher, for the idle can be approached and not reached. Rabindranath Tagore rightly said that teacher can never truly teach unless he is still learning himself. A lamp can never light another lamp unless it continues to burn its own flame. The teacher who has come to the end of a subject, who has no living traffic with his knowledge, but merely repeats his lesson to his student, can only load their minds, he cannot weaken them. So teachers are expected to be competent in their subject and pace setter of standards by developing meaningful human relationship. Uh, Teachers are never truly teach unless they are continuous learning. So teaching is really a noble profession, and we have to upgrade ourselves every day. Every day we have we are facing challenge every day. We have to face challenge, and we have to upgrade every day. So now you can see there is a model. You can see that the imparting the circle of influence. You know, the influence of teacher on the student and the country is enormous. Teacher realize that they will be inspired to do much better job than what they are doing now. In order to understand the concept of circle of concern, we must first make a list of problems that we are faced in a country, like corruption, lack of hygiene, high cost of living, violence, hatred, unemployment, poverty. So there is a poor infrastructure. So now we put all these concerns inside a circle. Then we'll have the circle of concern in front of us. Then we take a close look at all the problems we faced in the circle. We will feel helpless and inadequate to do anything to solve these huge problems. Our crippling sense of inadequacy to deal with this problem will further impart the poisonous content of the circle of concern. So, and make them even more dangerous for the country and the people. But there is always hope. There is always hope. There is a light of end of every tunnel. If we look carefully within this huge circle of concern, there is a small area on which each of us have some influence. Parents have influence on their children, officials have influence on their subordinate, teachers have influence on their students. In fact, every person have influence in each one of us, and every person have circle of influence. Every day, teacher gets privilege of meeting one or more class of 40 to 50 students. This class is the circle of influence for the teacher. The teacher can easily influence these students in many ways during his class, because during the class, teacher give everything they have to their teacher. Their eyes are on their teachers. Their ears are tuned to what the teacher is saying. They they keep their mind open to the challenges given by the teachers. So the teacher can utilize these opportunities and influence the mind and heart of student. So a teacher can inspire the student to work hard and achieve academic excellence. They can make the student imbibe human values like love, compassion, forgiveness, respect, tolerance, honesty, peace, non-violence, etc. The teacher can lead student to love their country and go for the development. Thus, the teacher can do much more than merely covering the syllabus. In short, the teacher can empower his circle of influence. So, how can we can empower the circle of influence? So, empowering the circle of influence is like blowing into a balloon. When we blow into a balloon, it bulges and enlarges because the walls of the balloons cannot able to withstand the pressure we release from our lungs. And similarly, when we empower our circle of influence, it enlarges. As it enlarges, it will occupy more area which are originally belong to the circle of concern. As the area under the circle of influence increases, the area under the circle of concern decreases. In other words, uh, empowering a student in the classroom, the teacher effectively reduce the problems that the society and nation faces. One teacher can easily empower at least 1,000 students during his or her career. If a college has 100 teachers and they can together empower one lakh student. In my city alone, we have at least 30 colleges, and teachers of this city can together empower 1 million students. If this happen all over the India, year after year, India will become a great country. India will become a great country within a short period. Every time teacher step into his class, he must remind himself that he is now inside the circle of influence. His job is essentially twofold. His first job is to teach his subject to the best of his ability, and the second job is empower his student. So what is meant by empower student? If he learn to think on his own, achieve academic excellence, live a value-based life, develop concern and love for others, and help others them to grow, contribute to the development of the country, play a role in maintaining harmony and peace in society, and remain the model for others to emulate. So I'll tell you a small story. Who is responsible for the death of a lamb? So their story. Don't be judgmental. It's just listen as a kid. So the story of a lamb and a circus trainer. There was a circus trainer who trained a lamb in several skills. He taught the lamb to speak and understand some languages. He trained to do as many things like dancing, singing, and responding. So one day he proudly told his wife about all that he has taught his lamb to do. One by one, he listed all the skills that he had imparted to the lamb. He was expecting his wife to appreciate him, but she just would not believe any of this claim. She thought that her husband was badly drunk. She ordered him to stop drinking, or stop coming home. So it was badly disappointed because he had done what no one had ever dreamt of doing, training a lamb to do what human could do, but it's a it's a really miracle. But he decided to prove his wife and whole world. So what happened? Excuse me. One day he came to his wife and told her that his friend would be visiting day after tomorrow. So prepare a grand dinner for them. The wife agreed with a condition: no one would drink at dinner time. So next day evening, he he means that circus trainer stealthily left with the stealthily brought home that highly trained lamb and left with the other lamb at the backyard. So his plan was to wait at the dinner time that he disclose what he taught to his lamb. So and the brink and what happened? And the next morning, the wife of the trainer get ready to prepare for the dinner. So she went to the backyard and to choose a lamb. I'm sure you can now imagine what happened next. Yes, you are right. She chose a fat lamb to slaughter and prepare dinner. That same lamb, highly trained lamb. Now I have a question for you. Who is responsible for the death of this highly trained, highly skilled, and highly equipped lamb? Who is responsible? Can anyone tell me? Hello? Are you all listening, my dear friends? Hello, I'm audible. Hello? Am I audible? Let me check.
Yes, ma'am. You're
Okay.
audible.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So, who is responsible for the death of lamb? In my opinion, the women. First, the women. Even all three are responsible for the death of that lamb. The trainer of the lamb, or the woman and lamb, the lamb. You will realize that all these are responsible for the death in some way or others. I would find fault with the woman on two accounts. Firstly, she killed the lamb. Secondly, she should have trusted her husband, listened to him lovingly, and affirming him. Maybe she should react by saying, "That's fantastic, honey. I'm proud of you. When can I see that lamb?" So, in some way, affirming student is an attitude and skill that that the teachers must learn and practice. Teachers should learn to trust students so that they become trustworthy. And the man who is responsible for the death of lamb, the man should have gone to his wife with the lamb and demonstrated to her what he was taught to the lamb. Similarly, teaching without demonstrating what is being taught is equally flawed. Second, he should have transparent to his wife. There was no need to stealthily leave the lamp at the backyard without the knowledge of his wife. Thirdly, he should have trained the lamb to use what he learned when the need arose. He should taught the skill of application. If he trained the lamb in such a way that morning can greet her, "Good morning, ma'am. How can I help you?" Something like that. So he failed to teach these skills also. And the lamb is also responsible for his death in some way. Actually, uh, teacher teach many things, do not bother to teach how and when to apply what is taught. Teacher must preparing actually three things like content and the process and application part. Because Lamp is such a good student. He learned many things, But the pity is he failed to learn the vital art of applying its knowledge and skill when it's really mattered. Teaching learning is one process. The proof of teaching is seen in learning, and learning is for using and not for storing. Learning added value to a person. So, what what must do as a teacher? So we actually a teacher. Remember that as a teacher, you have a position of vital importance in the life of your student. You have great responsibility to shoulders and important duty to perform. You must constantly remind yourself that you have great influence on the life of your students and that you must always do your best to empower them. You must be clear about the objective of teaching. You must prepare sincerely for your classes. Remember to prepare quality contents, effective process, and useful applications. You must relate. You must relate to your student with love and respect. You must help your student imbibe values through your teaching and by being a model of values. You must teach them social responsibilities. So now we come to the personality part, because teachers' personalities really matter. So personality word comes from the Latin word persona. Persona means the mask that you wear to perform a certain kind of duty, certain kind of function. You wear a certain mask. Like if you are doing the duty of your teacher, you wear a certain mask of knowledge, skills, compassion, and but when you somewhere else, you just take it off and wear the other marks. Mask means you wear by choice and take it off, but in virus time there is no choice, you have to wear the mask to protect yourself. So personality means how a person affect other, and he understand and view himself as well as the pattern of inner and outer traits. How a person affect other depending of his physical appearance and behavior. So why the personality development important? So much important. So we have to ask the question: do we need personality means the really means the look physically good, or the way you behave? Actually speaking, both. Physical look is also matter. It does not mean a good looking person have good personality. You have to do only one thing: make yourself presentable. Make yourself presentable. Be well dressed. Make sure you are wearing a professional looking attire, whether it is traditional or modern attire. Excess makeup is not going to help you out. But be what you are. The genuineness that you carry will be reflected in your smile, eyes, and behavior. The way you smile, the way you talk, the way you enter in your class with confidence and good contents, it reflects in your personality. The academic and physical researchers say that the the personal attribute of a teacher, they have very significant influence on the student outcome. So how a teacher look, how the teacher behave, how they handle the class have great connection in a perfect positive correlation with the student outcome. If the teacher is very motivated, very inspiring, so students feel confidence to move with such kind of teacher. A weak personality excluded weakness, and a strong personality excluded strength. Shyness, lack of confidence, lack of communication is the weakness. Maybe they are very good in class, but in front of others, they may fumble. Therefore, the way you talk, the way you behave, create trust and confidence among students. If you want to be if you really want to be a rocking teacher, then you must develop your personality. You must develop your so personality means the quality. Move from good to great. There is a watch shop experience. I'm sharing it. Actually, I went to a popular watch shop and in my town to buy a watch. So the young lady in the sale displayed some 15 watches. She pointed out the first watch and told me, sir, ma'am, its cost is 1,000 rupees. She showed me the price of second watch, ma'am, its cost is 2,500 rupees. She showed me the remaining watches one by one and gave me prices which were in increasing orders. The 40th watch price was 50,000 and 15th watch price was 70,000 rupees. Shocked. Then I asked, what do all the watches show? So she told me without hesitation, time. So then I asked, if all of them show times, then what the prices are different? She gave me a simple answer. So quality. The quality of watch decides the price. How true. The quality decides our value. The real quality of the watch depends on the machine that is inside the watch. It controls the reliability and durability of the watch. Similarly, our value depends on our quality, which lie hidden inside each of us. So everything that happen inside of us, like our thoughts, emotions, value, like, dislike, is called our root activities. And everything that happen outside in our fruit uh, uh, is our fruit activities, like speech, action, behavior, achievement, quantity and quality. These are our fruit activities. So what to do? Our root activities determine our fruit activities. Teacher who wish to increase their value must work on enhancing the quality of their root activity. It is always wise to plan to increase our quality. Every passing day, we improve ourselves. We must keep rising the quality bar in every component of our life so that a quality keeps going up. It means we will not be some same tomorrow as we are today. We will be better. So we move from good to better and the best, and then excellent, the effectiveness, and effectiveness to great. So you can see there is a growth giving and growth denying activities. Actually, life is an integral of action, and action are basically of two types: growth giving and growth denying. So what do actually the four type activities and emerge the above that emerge from the above model, that are 81, 82, 83 and 84. So 81 people involve their heart and mind in the work. Since the heart is involved, they love what they are doing. All successful people are predominantly 81 people. They carry out growth giving activities without any hurry because they start doing their work on time, because they have a lot of time available for to complete it. And teachers who are 81 prepare for their class well ahead of time. They prepare quality content and interesting process, and make their class exciting experiences of their student. And this second is 82 activities. So 82 activities consist of growth oriented activities which are hurried. When 81 activities are delayed and not done when they should be done, they become 82. Since 82 activities are growth giving, they are important and they have to be necessarily done and done in a hurry. It is this necessity to add to the pressure in doing it. It is good to learn to grow, to do growth giving activities without hurry and remain 81. Now there is 83 activities, represent activities as a growth denying activities, not hurried. A typical example of 83 activities are watching television, gossiping, procrastination, daydreaming. These are the 83 activities. And this, if the consequences of indulge of 83 activities in profession, interpersonal and personal disaster. And fourth one is 84 activities. 84 activities consist of growth denying activities that are hurried. A combination of two dangerous, poisonous thing, namely hurried and growth denying. So actually, teachers who are 84% have poor interpersonal lives. They are not fit for the society. Actually, as teachers, especially teachers who are people and nation builder, must endeavor to increase the 81 activities, because in order to achieve this, they must wean themselves away from 83 and 84 activities, because not only they destroy their growth, not only they sculpted their growth, but also they ruin the uh, nation building. It's a they're not show much interest for the development of the student. So now the another component is communication for the personality of a teacher. The term communication has been derived from Latin word communicates. Actually, a good teacher make the student understand the concept he teaches. In this process, the teacher first understands the subject, then he teaches. The subject in a way that the student also understands. Two-way communication. At this stage, the understanding of the concept become common. It has become common to both the student as well as both the teacher as well as student. In other words, the teacher has effectively communicated the subject to a student. So basically there are two types of communication: intrapersonal communication and interpersonal communication. Hello, am I audible? Because in Google Meet, I can't. Yeah, I understand now. I'm audible because some.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay. So interpersonal communication is the communication that we have with ourselves. We communicate with ourselves through self-talk and also thought process. Interpersonal communication is the tool we use for preparing of a class. As we start preparing for a class, we think about what should be the outcome of our teaching, what we decided, what should be the content, what should be the how should we organize the content. Then we plan specific process for effective teaching. In whole process, we engage with self-talk and critical thinking. So intrapersonal communication is also very much essential to improve our interpersonal communication. So what is interpersonal communication? While teaching, we communicate all the students in our class. It is important to understand that though we teach to a class of students, we are in fact communicating to each of us. An individual student in a class, there is no common mechanism to listen to the teacher or understand what the teacher is teaching. Individual student listen to the teacher, listen to the teaching process. He what the teacher is teaching and understand by their own ability. So quality of interpersonal communication depend on the quality of, again tell you this, the quality of interpersonal communication is depend on the quality of intrapersonal communication that process it, that proceed it. And now we have, now we can move further. We have two definitions of communications. A simplified statement of this definition is communication is a process of starting from the known and familiar and then moving to the new and unfamiliar. What we'll do, we first start the class with simple facts and concepts that can already known to all the students. When students listen to these known facts, a feeling of confidence builds within them. The confidence lead to the desire to learn more and other on the subject. Building the base is called establishing commonalities. We are building the base. And the other component is enlarging. Now building, establishing commonalities, then enlarging commonalities. After commonality has been established, the teacher has to reach new contents and make student understand them. When the new concepts are understood by the student, then these new concepts also become common to the student and the teacher. Commonality get enlarged. The extent to which commonality is enlarged, it is measure of effectiveness of teacher. So let us move further and consider the second definition. The second definition, communication is a sharing experience. The term experience refers to the teacher's knowledge and skills during the process of communication. The teacher share these experience with the student so that they are also also have the same experience. So now we can see that the we have two files. You can see that there's two files because actually uh, what we share what we share to the student, all the experience are shared in mind in form of that no language. So what is going to the mind is there's no language. So your task is to share your knowledge experience with student with using codes mean words, what the words we are using, tone of voice, facial expression, and body language. So words are called verbal communication, other all called non-verbal communications. So good teacher use appropriate word to communicate their content. Their tonal variation, facial expression, and body language to communicate this feeling. Here I can show you the model. Yeah, I can show you the model. This is you can see that there's two file number 1 and file number 2. So these two files in a mind of the communicator, we will call file 1 is the content file and the file 2 the word and expression file. Content file has a subject matter that the communicator need for his communication, and file number 2 contain word and expression file. So which we use to give expression to the content of the communicator. So now we can see the CPU. The CPU is our brain. It controlled by two chips, fear chips and the confidence chip. At any given time, one of the two chips is active, controlling the functioning of the CPU. If fear chip is on, it develops problem in accessing data from the two files, struggle to get enough content from file number 1 or word of expression in file number 2. So we can if communicator is well prepared, the confidence chip is automatically get switched on. The other factor which helps to switch on the confidence chip are good health, high energy level, cheerful mind, and peace in heart. When confidence chip is on, CPU become very active, fast, and effective. it begins to access all the required content from file 1 and all the appropriate words and expression from file 2. And communicator then flows freely and effectively. When all the three things work properly, the resultant communication will be lucid and enjoyable. Now, there's a motivation is also required to, to boost the personality of a student as well as a teacher. So motivation is general creating a desire to excel. Motivation is what makes ordinary people do extraordinary work. So performance by a person depend on two factors, namely ability and motivation. As given in the following equation, performance is equal to ability into motivations. So it is called the will factor. Motivation play an important role in any person's performance. So there is yeah, Hesberg theory of definition. Actually, Hesberg is called the father of motivation, motivational studies. So though Hesberg identify 24 factors, but 19 out of 24 factors are not really motivators. They are only satisfier. But remaining 5 factors called definite motivators. So first factor is sense of achievement. When you do a challenging task and accomplish it very well, well appreciated by others. So this sense of satisfaction inspire a person to do such more work or setting goals or accomplish them. So student hate maths. Even I also hate maths. But this is a challenge for a teacher to teach maths in such a way. So student that start love maths. So second is recognition. When people are recognized for their achievement, they get motivated. If authority motivate the teacher, if manager motivate his employees, if teacher appreciate his student in front of others, they start doing more quality work. But the recognition may be immediate, educate, and appropriate. So next is nature of work. So nature of work should not be same again and again. If if we are doing same work, it will become monotonous and we uh, dislike the work. And next is responsibility. So motivate someone. We should give responsibility to them and trust them, encourage them for their capability. And last, mobility. Mobility refers to opportunities to move to higher level in the hierarchy to an organization as a result of good performance in the job. So motivation is very much required for everyone for their best performance in the field. So there is a concept of QQT, quality quiet time. So quality quiet time, it's a very important part in every teacher's life. Uh, it's quality time, quiet time. It is the time in which you are alone. You are alone in your office or at your home with no one around you to disturb you. It is a time when we enjoy quietness of mind even in the presence of others. We call add quality of this quiet time and make it quality quiet time by a dynamic process of creative thinking. During QQT, the mind does not remain idle or not does it wander aimlessly. It is involved in a productive thought process which result in productive action. In QQT, you can start a day with prayer or connect to God or meditate yourself. Do some meditation. You can prepare a schedule for whole day. As you as per schedule you start your work with a great energy, and at the end you just appraise what have you done. If the professional effectiveness of a person depends on the quality of work he does during this whole day, and you observe and you evaluate the day you spend and make the next day better and more valuable. So, a teacher personality is also reflected by this effective triangle. The overall effectiveness of teachers depend on this effectiveness of three areas: personal, interpersonal, and professional. And these three areas, which are interconnected, can be shown in this form of this triangle called effectiveness triangle. They are interconnected with each other. If any one area affects, the effectiveness in other two areas are also shown. So next slide is uh, the important components of in the work of teacher. There are three important components. First is knowledge, and second skills and uh, attitude. So the knowledge, teacher must have strong knowledge. We all know that the teacher must have strong knowledge of the subject. How the mere presence of knowledge does not make a person a great teacher who's liked by the student. And the skill, a teacher is well prepared for his class, explain the difficult concept in easier way, his language skills and attractive PPTs, effective use of the backboard, shows using the student-centered teaching method, and his or her humor are really great, appreciated. Now, attitude is also required. So, cultivating the right attitude is the most important preparation that a teacher should make in order to become a effective teacher. A teacher with right attitude will do his best to develop the skills and he lacks and acquire the knowledge what he needed. And on the contrary, the teacher with wrong attitude will not take pains to acquire sufficient knowledge, and he will not take the effort required share to share knowledge to that he has with his student. He will not acquire the skill needed to be a good teacher, nor he will be he use his skill for betterment of student. And the most actually the most unfortunate that the abundance of knowledge in many teachers is often wasted because the teacher has the wrong attitude. Somebody very rightly said that students do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. A great teacher is one who has a right mix of knowledge, skill, and attitude. Now there is three target of attitudes. The effectiveness of teachers depend on his developing healthy attitude towards the student, authority, and work. First, we'll take attitude towards student. Good teacher care of their student. Care means love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and he must have self-control. And second is attitude of respect. Teacher can show regard to his students by the way he treats them. Positive regards can be shown by warmly and genuinely greeting student in the class, outside the class, by using grateful words to teach them and correct them, patting them on the back if they've done a good job. So this is the attitude towards student. And uh, actually, if we value our students, so student also begin to value himself as a worthy person. A person who start valuing himself, develop confidence, and begin to add more values to his life. He become an inspired learner and begin to grow. I also read a story of daughter-in-law and a mother-in-law. It's very interesting story. A young lady who was badly and unkindly treated by her mother-in-law. The treatment of the mother-in-law was so cruel that the young lady decided to get rid of her. Then she secretly secretly met a herbal doctor and asked his help to give poison to her mother-in-law. Doctor promised to help her and gave her a white medicinal powder. He said to her, "You must be very careful and not give room to any suspicion. This white powder is poison. This poison acts slowly but surely and takes 6 months to do its job." The young lady said, "Thank you, doctor. I will be careful. But tell me, what else should I do to ensure that no one ever suspect me?" Doctor said, "Treat your mother-in-law with a greater affection for the next 6 months. People who see you relate lovingly to your mother-in-law should feel that you really love her very much and not suspect you when she died. But the way mix the powder you gave with her food every meal and personally serve the meal to your mother-in-law." Then the lady went home and followed the instruction given by doctor. She started treating her mother-in-law with great affection. Then 5 months passed. One day, the lady went running to meet the doctor. Doctor said, "What happened? Have all the medicine finished? You want some more?" The lady replied, "No, doctor, it is not that. Do you have any antidote for the poison that you gave me? I want it badly. I don't want my mother-in-law die. I love her so much that I want her to live." And the tears were there in her eyes. Doctor smiled and asked her, "What happened? 5 months back, you told me that your mother-in-law treated you cruelly and you wanted to kill her. Now, what made you change in your mind?" So she said, "It is true that she once treated me so badly that wanted to kill her. But I started giving her the powder you gave me and started treating her lovingly. She also treated me lovingly. Now we love each other. Now we love each other so much. And I don't want her to die. Please give me antidote for the poison." Doctor patted the lady on her back and said, "Relax, dear. The white powder I gave you is not a poison. It is a herbal tonic that would have strengthened your mother-in-law by now. I wanted you to realize that what you give is what you receive. If you give love, you get back love. If you treat someone with love and respect, that person treat you in the same way." So good story, isn't it? So why would any teacher strain hard to make the student in class understand what he or she teaching? Because she care them, she love them. They use demonstration, charts, drawing, paintings, PPTs, give them good examples to understand the concept, and all these things do because she or he care the student. Caring attitude of respect, this all related in this story. So, am I audible, ma'am? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay. So, next thing is attitude towards authority. Every teacher has authority to respect too. In institution, there are directors, their principal, HODs, coordinators, and many others. The teacher must learn to have the attitude of respect towards all authority. Maybe he's younger than you, less qualified and less equipped than you. The teacher who has the maturity and grace to show respect and get reciprocated. And when teachers disrespect authority, students will learn from them and they will being rude, insulting others, including teachers, parents, and elders. So the the future of country will become a menace of the society. You know, you can see that in figure 1, represent an institution in which the leadership is not respected by people who work for the institution. Different people pull the institution in different direction. Ultimately, the institution will not make any progress. And in figure 2, you can see that represent an ideal institution in which there are is an accepted and well performed leadership. People followed the leader and align themselves with a specific direction, and is decided by all of them. So this institution will make substantial progress. In educational institute have leadership and teacher like this, our nation will become have will have glorious future. And last is attitude towards work. So every teacher have given a certain working hours, number of classes to teach, and other duties performed like paper setting, paper correcting, then taking care of extracurricular and co-curricular activities. So teachers have two options. One option is to do the work assigned to them, nothing more or less, or the second option is to go the second mile by doing more than that is in the minimum requirement. Then there are two kinds of teachers. What are they? Hardly working or hard work. So what we all know, we are hardly working teacher or hard working teacher. So attitude of teacher towards work decided his energy level of the classroom. So teacher with right attitude show passion in his teaching. A teacher with wrong attitude will send signals that hate what he's doing. He's found sitting and teaching most of them. Teacher with right attitude towards work realize that education is all about bringing out the best and most out of their student. They design creative methods and accomplish this. But teacher with wrong attitude, filling student with information only, if they are the empty vessels. Teachers with right attitude prepare student for life, and teachers with a wrong attitude prepare student only for exams. So teacher with right attitude are student centered, and teacher with wrong attitude are self centered. They want more money and less work. So teacher with right attitude are the blessing of the institution and the country, but teachers with wrong attitudes are a burden. So I will end up my presentation with a small story that really really touchy story. This is a story of a teacher, Mrs. Thompson, and a boy, Teddy. Mrs. Thompson is a teacher of class 5th. Miss Thompson went to her class Mrs. Thompson, uh, um, when she went to in her class the very first day and say, "Good morning, children. I love you all." So there in a first row, the little boy Teddy seated. Mrs. Thompson watched Teddy the year before and noticed that he did not play well with other children. His clothes were messy and not properly dressed up, not properly iron it, and it become unpleasant. When Mrs. Thompson checking his answer sheet, he's also failed in every subject. So what she did, she checked all the previous record. When she checked the first standard, so teacher of first standard wrote in progress report, uh, Teddy is a bright student with a ready laugh. He does his work neatly and in good manner. His second grade class teacher wrote, Teddy is an excellent student, but he's troubled because his mother has a terminal illness and life at home must be struggle. His third grade class teacher wrote, His mother's death has been hard on him. He tries to do his best, but his father doesn't show much interest. Teddy's fourth grade teachers wrote, Teddy does not show much interest in school. He does not have many friends, or he sometimes sleep in the class. So Mrs. Thompson realized the problem, and she was ashamed for herself of herself. She felt even worse when her student brought her Christmas present wrapped in a beautiful paper, but Teddy's present wrapped in a brown and messy paper. It is not actually properly wrapped. When she opened her present, there is a bracelet with some missing stone and a used perfume bottle. Other students are laughing, but Mrs. Thompson smiled and wore that bracelet and spray some perfume from bottle. And that day after school, uh, Teddy, all the children left. She cried. Actually, Teddy, uh, Teddy told Mrs. Thompson, "Ma'am, today you smell just like my mother used to." And after all the children left, she cried for at least 1 hour. And for that day, her whole attitude changed. And she began to teach all the children with real love and paid full attention to all the students, especially Teddy. The more she encouraged him, he he uh, he faster he respond. By the end of the year, Teddy had become smartest children in the class. Teddy passed in every class after this, and also with good marks. And every year she wrote a letter to Mrs. Thompson telling this, "Ma'am, still you are the best teacher I ever had in my whole life." Now Teddy become a doctor. And another letter of Teddy received by Mrs. Thompson that that was the invitation of his marriage. Mrs. Thompson reached Teddy Place to attend his marriage. She wore that same bracelet and used same perfume. They hugged each other, and Dr. Teddy whispered in Mrs. Thompson's ear, "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson, for believing in me. Thank you so much for making me feel important and showing me that I could make a difference." Mrs. Thompson, with tears in her eyes, she whispered back, uh, uh, "Teddy, you have it all wrong. You were the one who taught me that I could make a difference. I did not know how to teach until I met you." Then they hugged again each other, and Mrs. Thompson sit on the chair that was reserved for Teddy's mother. So I just want to say one thing at the end of my presentation. If teachers' heart and mind work together, we really expect a masterpiece. So thank you so much.